Hey guys, it's Awesomeness. Long time no see. Who knows if I'm actually gonna upload this, but if it does get uploaded, hi, I'm back. Kind of, not really. Um, it's been a long time because of the same reason as the last time. I just did not have any sort of motivation to make another video. I had one ready and had it all edited up, was looking good, ready to go. It was me and several buddies messing around on dirt rally, I think, and it was all good to go. It was like 20 minutes long. I had a thumbnail. It was great, and got the video finally edited. It took me hours because I suck at editing, which is why this one's probably not going to be edited at all. And so I get to the final stage and ready to go, and I get it, all the edited version put together, and I watch it through, and for whatever reason the editor decided that it was going to make all of my audio lag for no reasons I couldn't figure out in a timely manner, and that was probably over a year ago now. But here I am, sitting in my car, my place of work. I have some downtime during my lunch break, and well, I was thinking yesterday of what I should probably do with this channel. And to be honest with you, I don't know. I really don't know still. But, I figured that I could use it to upload, whatever the heck I want to upload. As a car pulls up right next to me, it's probably going to think I'm crazy, which I probably am. Good thing it's not a cop. But red cream soda, good stuff. I figured I could use this downtime to just, talk about things, I suppose. Anything I want, really. Like I said, got no plans for this channel in the slightest. So I might as well do it to post whatever I want. And today, this is what this is. So, it's been a topic that has been bugging me for the past week or so. And, well, I figured I had this idea, I think yesterday. Why don't I post it on my channel, just me talking and sort of ranting, I guess. And apologies for the first video being back after a year, after not posting for 2 years before that. It's kind of a ranty video, but I don't care. So, first things first, I should get it out of the way that I'm, to preface everything that I'm about to say, I am 110% a wrestling fan, and no, not a mat wrestling, NCAA, that type of Greco-Roman, whatever that's called, wrestling. No, professional wrestling, which is very geeky, yes, but I love it. And it's something that has kept me entertained and halfway sane, maybe, for several years now. And no, also, I was not one of those people who grew up with it. I had several friends who were like really big when they were little kids, like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and have just kind of carried on. And some people have probably fallen off of it, as they gotten older too. But I got into it when I was like 14, 15, I think. I didn't necessarily want to watch it before, but I bought a wrestling video game, and that kind of spiraled into me wanting to watch the real thing, and so here I am today, a big-time wrestling fan for several years. So, in being a big-time wrestling fan nowadays, I'll start off with this. I have a message for wrestling fans like myself, and maybe not, unlike myself. Whether you're a hardcore, been a fan for 35 years, or have only been watching wrestling for the past 6 months or so. I think the modern culture around professional wrestling from a fan's perspective, like I said, I've never been in a ring. I've only pulled off moves on a trampoline when I was younger, a few years ago, when I had a trampoline, and that was a cool thing to do. They tell you not to do those stunts, but we all do. Wrestling fans have all done that when they were kids. I think the modern culture around wrestling fans it's different than it ever has been, and it's bad. And let me explain why I think it's bad. So I'm not gonna lie about anything. I am a hardcore AEW fan. Been to shows, bought the merch, watch it every week. That's my thing. Some people may not like that. Some people may love that. Don't care. And that's gonna be the theme of the rest of the video, is not caring. So, when it comes to not caring, here's what I think is wrong with modern wrestling fans. They care too much, which sounds like a terrible statement on itself, because of course you would want wrestling fans to care about wrestling, right? But it's different. It's a different type of caring. Back in the golden days, right? In the 80s or even through the 90s, when wrestling was a lot more popular than it is today. People cared about wrestling a lot. They cared about their favorite wrestlers, and they cared about the stories that were being told in front of them. Now, with Twitter and, social media and everybody being very smart to everything that goes on in wrestling now, people care, but in a different way. And it's a way that I don't think helps the business at all. And I say the business like I'm a part of the business. No, I'm just a fan. And that's another topic I'll get to, with fans thinking they're part of the business when they just pay their checks. Anyway, so the modern wrestling culture is less about enjoying what is on screen, what is being presented to you, and more about caring about the personal lives and the backstage happenings than what they're meant to be watching. Which, in a sense, I get, because you look at entertainment movie stars and TV personalities and whatever, and there's this whole subculture of the paparazzi and everything, and everybody wants to know the inside details on what I don't know, the Kardashians are doing now in their real lives, or what our favorite Marvel actors and actresses do, or what scandal they're up to next, which I get to a point. It is interesting. However, when it comes to wrestling, I feel like it's gone too far. The modern wrestling fan, mostly, not everyone, but mostly, seems to care way more about what's going on backstage than what is happening in front of them, which I know I just said, but just to reiterate, they make it so that what goes on behind the scenes is somehow more important than the entertainment that they're being delivered on TV and in person when the light comes on and they come out on the stage. Which I think hurts wrestling. It makes it so that wrestlers, when they're playing their personas on screen, also have to make sure that character somehow lines up with what's happening behind the scenes, which shouldn't be that way. Take, for example, the recent happenings around the CM Punk and Elite drama in the back, which I'm not going to get into. If you're really into wrestling that way, you'll have at least heard about that. But I was watching the show last night. Today is Thursday, the 8th of September. So last night's episode of Dynamite. And with all that stuff going on, they did a short little address, titles have been stripped from, whatever, because of the happenings and everything. And then they just went on. And I was fine with that. But everybody still wants to keep their focus on what's going on backstage. And that's really unfair to all of the other entertainers. Because they are entertainers. They're wrestlers. But they're here for our enjoyment. So it's really unfair because those people have to put away their backstage lives, their personal lives, to put on a story and to wrestle for all of us to enjoy. But yet today there's less emphasis on that part, and everyone just wants to focus on what's going on backstage. And I think that's hurting the entire business of wrestling. It's never... Back in the 80s, right? Here's a point I'll make. Back in the 80s, early 80s, in the 70s too, and pre-80s, I guess, the vast majority of people who watched professional wrestling thought that every time Hulk Hogan delivered a leg drop, that man he hit was legitimately knocked out. They thought that Macho Man was always that way, with his cool voice. I do a terrible impression, but you know what I'm saying. That was his thing. They thought he was really like that, both on screen and off screen. And a lot of the times, they would keep up those personas to keep kayfabe alive, which is royally dead now. But there's a difference between people caring about or believing what's happening on screen was real versus today, where we all understand, mostly, there's probably exceptions, but today we understand that what's happening on camera is, I don't want to say an act, but it's part of a show. They're performing. Or what goes on behind the scenes, they may act differently. And that difference is important, because when wrestlers in the olden days would go to the back, they could be themselves out of the public eye. Now, with all the dirt sheets and publications, and everyone's always in the know of what's going on backstage, they can't even do that. They have to make sure that their personas match, not in a way to keep kayfabe alive, but to keep their reputations alive. They always have to worry. It shouldn't be that way. It should be, wrestling fans should care about what's happening on screen and not so much care about what's happening in the personal lives of the wrestlers performing. At least in my eyes. And I feel like the whole business would be way better off for everyone. And I've noticed this myself. I especially when AEW got started, I was like, oh yeah, I'm the super ultra mark guy. I love everything that goes on screen, off screen. I love the backstage, type stuff that goes on. Still kind of do, but more on a business side, not so much on the personal side of the wrestlers. But I realized within the past year or so, and I've steadily gotten there, and I think this past week has been the breaking point, I enjoy wrestling way more when I just don't care about what other people think, what's going on in the back, and just take in what I'm being presented on my television screen. And I think more people should do that. And I think the whole business would benefit from people not caring so much. Just enjoy. There was a guy with a sign a couple Dynamites ago that I saw. I was in the area where the hard cam could see it. That had a sign that said, "Just enjoy wrestling." And I was like, exactly. Everybody gets so caught up in everything that goes on behind the scenes. And there's this, everyone has their opinions, you know, on what goes on behind the scenes, and what the wrestlers' personal lives are and how they think of them personally. And I'm like, it shouldn't matter so much how you feel about them in a personal sense. They're performing for you in a character. They're putting on amazing feats of athletic ability solely to entertain you, the consumer. They get paid great money to do it, 100%. But no one goes in to wrestling necessarily with money as the sole thing that they're going into the business for. Most, if not all, at least from an outside perspective looking in, like I said, go in wanting or having a passion for the craft. And I think fans ruin that passion a lot by overanalyzing and being overly critical. It's funny to me that people will suspend their disbelief to watch wrestling in general, but just shut it immediately off when it comes to either discussing things online or just the topics they focus on, which are almost never what's the on-screen product unless it's bashing somebody for a bad storyline. So, the crux of what I'm saying, to wrap this up because this video is getting long, and we can call this is maybe a new thing on the channel where I just rant to a camera when I'm bored. The crux of this issue, to sum it all up, is that wrestling fans are hurting the business by being so interested and so critical of things that don't happen on screen, that have nothing to do with the on-screen product. And that is sad to me, because like I said, I love pro wrestling, and I say that, you know, I'm a big AEW fan, and I am, I 100% am, but it's not, I don't cordon myself off to just watching AEW content. I've watched New Japan stuff, I've watched Impact stuff, the only one I've kind of stopped watching was the WWE a long time ago. I just got bored. Felt like the same, you know. That's the topic for another video, though. So, as I was saying, I think the business would be a lot better off if people quit listening to the drama rags. I'm in front of a Walmart right now, and I walk in the front door and I see those pop magazines, those pop culture magazines. They're sitting up by the registers. You know them. They're in every convenience store probably. And I look at them, and they've got these flashy yellow headline bars, and it's always about some sort of drama, gossip mag about, you know, random celebrities and their personal lives. And I'm like, who cares? Really? Who cares? I don't care. It doesn't make me any difference. I'll still watch their movies. You know, they're in a movie, cool. Well, I don't care that so-and-so had beef with so-and-so. I'm just here to watch Avengers. I don't care. And so I realized after it hit me a few days ago, I was sitting there and I was like, I've unsubscribed to all these channels because I'm like, you know, these wrestling-centric channel, Walk Culture, Wrestle Talk, The Observer, you know, Wrestling Hub, whatever channel. I'm not calling them out because they do their thing and that's fine. But I just couldn't do it anymore because I was like, they're not much different, if at all, than those pop magazines that I wondered for all this time why people even read. And here I was subscribed to basically the same thing for wrestling content. So I'm just, you know what? Moral of the story. This video's getting too long. Moral of the story. Chill out. Don't take it so seriously. It's sweaty dudes in tights oiling themselves up and fake fighting each other. I say fake fighting, you know what I mean. I'm a wrestling fan, I get it. Fake fighting for your entertainment. it doesn't need to be so personal. Anyway, that's my rant for today. Peace out.